Hi crafters! Welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be making some fabric no-sew poinsettias. And to create them I'm going to be using my peony and chrysanthemum foliage stamps. Well, you can get away with using just one stamp set if you only have one of the two, but between the two you have so many foliage stamps to work with for variety. So I went ahead and I stamped probably a good dozen of each to get enough to make quite a few flowers out of, and I'm using my IOD ink on polyester fabric. Polyester is important for this project and you'll see later on in the video why. I got myself bright red and a nice deep rich dark and white fabric to work with, and after I stamped all my foliage, which will become my petals for my poinsettias, I went in with the vintage texture, the crinkly one, the paint chippy one, to put in more texture in those petals because I find poinsettias tend to have a lot of veiny texture. I heat set them, of course. Did a nice rough cut them all out. I'm going to be using a candle to burn the edges all the way around my petals, and I do this for multiple reasons. It will, since it's polyester, it's basically plastic, so it's gonna melt, and all those fibers aren't gonna fray because it's all melted together. It also adds volume and texture so your petals won't lie flat. I'm going to be starting off with 5 petals and kind of gluing them together in a star shape, and then I'm going to be putting another row in between those gaps, and I'll do that for 3 layers. You could easily build these flowers using all the small petals, so that way you have more variety in size of flower as well. But for some of these, I put the smaller petals on the top. Another fun thing you could do is you could get some nice dark deep green fabric and make some leaves to go on the underside of your flowers as well. That would be very pretty. Oh, and be sure to pull away all those stringy glue bits. They really detract from your flowers if you have them lying around. And for the centers of my flowers, I got a ball of paper clay and I used my boughs of holly and my medallion molds, and I just did a shallow impression of those molds to fill, to make my centers. I painted them up. And I glued them in the centers of my flowers. And for a few of them I did a cluster of a bunch of little tiny bits. It's a good project if you would like to get into fabric crafting but you don't have a sewing machine or you don't care to sew. I then cut out some cardboard circles to glue on the backs of them to give them a little more structure so they're not so floppy. And then I cut some drop cloth circles to glue on top of that cardboard just to like pretty it up a little. And then I proceeded to glue some clothespins. Yes, clothespins on the back of the poinsettias. I like this better because most ornaments hang off a tree, and these you can like clamp to your branches. And then I spray painted the back with gold spray paint. Totally not necessary, but I feel it polishes it up a touch. Also, I think these guys would look really cute on a garland. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing.